Good morning and welcome. My name is Alejandro Moledo, and I'm the Deputy Director and Head of Policy at the European Disability Forum, which is the umbrella organization representing persons with disabilities. And very much welcome, and myself very much privileged to be chairing this panel on one of the greatest challenges for us, for persons with disabilities, navigation, particularly navigation in places that are unknown to us. So there are many different solutions and more are coming up on how to ensure an independent navigation. Today we will hear from awardees of the Zero Project 2026 on different solutions and ideas. And I very much like the title of our panel, like Maps, Haps, and Haptics. It sounds really hap. So that gives us a little bit like the... it's not... okay, sorry. Okay, I hope that's better. Okay. Now, you should hear me closer. I'd like to, to immediately introduce our panel today so they can tell us about their solutions and their ideas. We are still missing one of our panelists, Mr. Kevin Jo, but let's hope that he shows up during the session, probably because of the snow. There are other navigation problems as well. He may not have been able to arrive, but let's cross fingers he will make it. So I will start by introducing Michael Antonelka, founder and CEO of the Center of a Successful Person, who will be supported by Hannah Starczyk, yeah, and I very much like the name of your organization. It sets the bar really high as a Center of a Successful Person, so well done for that. And then we will hear from Kevin Kelly, who is the Head of Policy, Partnerships and External Affairs at Vision Ireland, and the Wayfinding Center, who will also be accompanied and will take the floor, Mrs. Chantal Smith, Wayfinder Center Manager, also in Ireland, and from Kevin Jo, who is the CEO and founder of Haptic. Let's hope he makes it. So without further ado, I'd like to pass the floor first to Michael and to Hannah for a presentation. You have around 10 minutes, and then after all panelists have made their presentations, we will open up the floor for questions. So Michael, Hannah, the floor is yours.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Good morning, friends. The right to move in the space is a fundamental part of freedom. For people without low vision, this is normal. For blind people, is it often inaccessible. Technological advances have improved the quality of life for blind people. However, independent movement in space is a serious obstacle in their life at present. Our mission to help them achieve this. I was born with low vision, and at the age of 30, I completely lost my sight. With my youth, I've been creating accessible environment. I started by increasing the numbers of public transport routes, then promoted the duplication of information in Braille, the installation of audible signals on traffic lights, and so on. In 2018, my company, Center of Successful Person, created in Belarus a precision navigation system, Kroki na Guki. My colleague Anna will present our system Kroki na Guki to you. Thank you very much, Anna. Continue,
Thank
please.
you so much. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to see so many people interested in the topic of navigation and maps and haptics in this room. We're happy to introduce you to our technological solution, Kroki na Huki, which means in Belarusian, steps to sounds. Imagine you're in a new space, in maybe some place in Vienna you are for the first time, and you need to get somewhere you're heading to, but you have no clue. Too many people around, too much sound, too much noise. And you feel lost. And then in this moment you hear the signal which tells you, this is where you need to go. This is a place you're looking for. Follow it. And this is, in a nutshell, steps to sound system. Basically, the system contains the following components. You need to have a smartphone to navigate it with an active Bluetooth connection and the BuzzPoint app, which connects via Bluetooth to wireless information device, which is installed on the place in the urban infrastructure. So with the help of the beacon system, the wireless information device produces the signal which has been transmitted via Bluetooth to the BuzzPoint app and received by the user, telling them where exactly they should navigate. Well, basically through receiving the signal, the user just following the signal and getting to the place where they're targeting to arrive. However, not only the route is being offered by Steps to Sound system, but also navigation inside the building. The system tells you where is the entrance, where is the exit, where is the bathroom, where is the stairs, and all the other important elements of navigation in the building. So what features does the Kroki na Huki offers? It offers, first of all, a very precise navigation with literally zero margin of error. It's completely free of internet connection. You don't need to be online. You don't need to look for a Wi-Fi to be connected with it. And the information about the facilities is very precise because it's being created through the professionals in the field of audio description, and it's already adapted to the people with no or low vision. Also, Kroki na Huki offers the opportunity to plan and program your routes in advance. Let's say you're planning to get to the central station of Vienna and from there go to the airport. So already from home, you can completely plan your route from the start of your journey till the very end, till the gate, and maybe even till boarding your plane. And also when you have the BuzzPoint app on your smartphone, the system turns out automatically. It doesn't need any push button, basically in the proximity of the next informational device. So the benefits of this Kroki na Huki system is that it interacts with most global navigation products, Google Maps, Apple Maps, and whatever popular map system are available there. It can be applicable as outdoors as well as indoors and also in public transportation, which is also particularly useful for people with low vision. It's affordable, at least in Belarus. One Informer device costs 150 euros. For the other countries, the price will be different, most likely. Also doesn't provide any maintenance costs, and it's absolutely adaptable and customizable for any local environment, which means any language, any cultural specifics are available to customize in the system. So for now, there have been 35,000 devices installed across Belarus since 8 years already, since 2018. And more than 10,000 users were trained to use it. So currently, the Steps to Sound system was included in the national construction standards in Belarus, which means when the new buildings are being constructed, they already take into consideration the installation of the system so that all the new constructions are being accessible to the people with no or low vision. Right. So in order to use the system, in order to install it, well, we cannot do it ourselves. We need a wide range of stakeholders, which are, of course, the municipalities, the public infrastructure, facility management, which are schools, libraries, central stations, transportation, and so on and so forth. Construction companies, of course, for the new buildings and also for the upgrading of already existing old buildings. Retail, and overall any entity willing and interested to make the environment accessible. Any shop, any office who wants to offer accessibility to people with no or low vision. So why we are here, not only to receive the award, but also we are interested to partner. Partner in a different way, B2B, B2C, B2G. We are open to the conversation. We are open to the cooperation in distribution, in the manufacturing, and also we're offering training to the staff of any stakeholder to use the Krokinahuki system. Just feel free to talk to us after the presentation, or just scan the QR code on the screen and it will lead you directly to the website of the Polish representation of the organization, because right now Michael lives and operates in Poland, as well as Michael's email address is also here for you. Feel free to get in touch with him. Thank you so much for your attention. Very happy to have you here. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Many, many thanks, Michael and Hannah, for this presentation. And now we move to Kevin and Chantal. Woo!
No pressure.
Very good. So our panelists arrive. Welcome, welcome, Mr. Yu. So will Mr. Yu be the next one? Yeah. Okay. Great.
I pass it.
Yeah.
Hello? Perfect, thank you. Hi, thank you so much, and apologies for being slightly delayed. My name is Kevin Yu, and I'm the founder and inventor of Haptic Nav. And I'm going to just kind of give a little introduction to what the technology does and how we can potentially change the future of navigation. So the problem that we all notice today is the last meter gap, right? If you're trying to find your vehicle, the current solution is that you have to look at the license plate number and confirm that it's your car. In the waves of a lot of similar cars in an airport, for example, this could be very, very tricky and sometimes not possible, which results in cancellations. And then there's also the door and the indoor navigation problems, which are still not really solved today. So these are still occurring challenges that we're looking into and definitely tackling. What Haptic Nav does is an invisible layer that goes on top of any mapping tools and applications, and it's giving you vibrational feedback for navigation, but very accurate orientation information. So it's not a buzz for left turn, right turn, as you may imagine. It's a gradual vibrational feedback that gives you exact orientation of where you need to face, whether you're trying to find a friend or trying to go to places. So our motto has always been creating a universal language through touch and feeling your way through the world. And with precise guidance and silent vibrations, it's turning map data into a universal language. And ultimately, this is going to improve mobility for everybody. So back in the day, we actually made history by guiding the first blind runner in the New York City Marathon. And this was kind of a big moment for history, but at the same time, it showcased to the world that, crazy people can do crazy things, and sometimes it works. So the fact that you can feel your way through 26.2 miles of a New York City Marathon at a crowded place means that you can get around the corner and go to places of your convenience using our technology. So this is like kind of a way to showcase to the world, like, hey, you can use this, and it's for everybody, not just for runners, not for blind and visually impaired. It truly can be a revolutionary tool that can be globalized. And from there, we have a video to showcase. This is gonna play the sounds from Simon Wheatcroft. He's the blind marathon runner, and it's him explaining the virtual corridor of our invention. Do I press this button to play?
It's a virtual corridor, just slightly wider than a human, by plotting the route using GPS coordinates and machine learning, and then through haptic feedback, it ensures you always stay within this virtual corridor.
Let's go to the right a little.
That's the right thing. Like,
Oh, good.
the way you know you're actually in the corridor is you get no feedback. If you know you get no haptic vibrations, that means you're going in the right direction, everything's fine. As soon as you step out of the corridor, you then get a little haptic notification to say, oh, it's gone wrong, step back into the corridor.
Do you feel nothing right now?
Nothing.
Perfect.
Ultimately, these haptic corridors will be created based on millions of data points collected by people using the wayband. Based on their feedback, the wayband will offer up the safest, most convenient route. Unlike regular GPS, the route is highly precise, alerting you if you deviate within just a few feet.
Think of Waze for pedestrians. Waze reads what other users are doing. Say you can get the most effective route, but as a blind person, I want the least trafficked route. So imagine an intelligent navigation device.
So I'm just gonna pause it there and move on, but that video was made by Discovery Channel documentary, and after that we were covered by TED Talk and New York Times, etc. Because showcasing a technology like this, it's very simple, but it's never been done before, and especially at this kind of caliber. So we kind of proved it in pretty much the most challenging environment, and from there we're able to now put it into the hands of every single person. The wayband was the wearable device we created for the marathon, but now you can use it on anybody's smartphones, so truly globalizing. So eventually, we're really defining the tactile layer for mobility and accessibility. I was mentioning ride sharing before. It's about 20% increase in efficiency for all riders, about 42% decrease in fewer wrong car attempts, and then 90% improvement in accessibility across map platforms, but also for ride sharing experiences. The app is free, so it's called Haptic Nav. You can download it today, and anybody in the world can use it using your smartphones and smartwatches. We're live in about 33 countries currently today, but we're planning to expand into more. A lot of the people that are talking about the app, for example, ranges from visually impaired all the way down to hearing impairment, but just general travelers and tourism. And people are saying, I cannot travel without this app due to the fact, of course, you may be deaf and visually impaired. So tactile feedback becomes really the main core of information. And the fact that you can feel the map on your skin, which is a new concept that we think is going to become more popular in the future, we do believe this is going to be how we navigate as a mass population. And for people just kind of coming to a new country, for example, like Vienna, you don't have to look at your phone anymore. You don't have to look like a tourist. You can be safer, being heads up, and especially at events, finding people and friends, you can do it entirely without even taking your phone out. So that's a pretty new, exciting experience that we all very much enjoy. In terms of the partnerships, we've been working with a lot of blind and visually impaired communities all around the world, as well as with Google and South by Southwest and USTA, for example, for event places. And we would love to continue this endeavor. We're also showcasing as Zero Project's accessibility navigation tool, and we're on the website if you want to go check us out. And at the same time, please scan the QR code. You're able to try it today. This is not a concept. This is not a thing of the future. This is something you can truly use and download The Android version, however, it is still going through an update, so I do apologize for the Android users, but within a few days we will have it up back in the Play Store with the newest updates. But the Apple experience is as fine as we've ever had it. So please give it a try. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kevin. And now we move from Kevin to Kevin. So now I'll pass the floor to Kevin and Chantal from Ireland. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Myself and Chantal are delighted to be here representing Vision Ireland and everyone who's been involved in the Wayfinding Centre project. It's a true honour to be recognised by the Zero Project. Now that I've said that, I need to tell you what the Wayfinding Centre is. The Wayfinding Centre is a transport and mobility training centre based in Dublin. It opened its doors in April of 2024. It's a 35,000 square foot facility. Our mission is to try to make transport and the built environment more accessible for all. How do we do that? We do that by providing immersive training, research and innovation programs, but critical to all of that, it's co-designed and co-delivered by people with disabilities, and that's been right through from the concept, the development of the centre. We've had an inclusion and advisory group made up of representatives from the disability community, and that group still exists today, and they help us develop and shape our work programme. So it's a very challenging thing to do, to describe what the Wayfinding Centre is, and some of you in the audience may have had the opportunity to visit the centre in the last 2 years. Any of you who have not, you certainly should, but I'll do my best to describe what we have in the facility itself. So it's set up in a street-scape environment indoors. So we've fully functioning traffic lights, footpaths, road crossings, cycle paths, all of the elements that you would expect to see in the built environment outside of this building, but dotted around the centre we have modes of public transport. We have a double deck coach, we have a regular coach, we have a train carriage, a tram carriage, as well as, I suppose, the one that captures everyone's imagination. We have part of an Airbus 319, which has proven very popular for a number of the training programs that we offer. Speaking to the work that we do in the centre, we have 5 core areas that we focus on. The first being around providing training to people with disabilities to allow them to be more comfortable using public transport and navigating the built environment. So we bring people into the facility and run one-to-one sessions or group training sessions to help them build their confidence to navigate in the space before they transition out into the built environment. And we will work closely with our colleagues in other areas who provide training to allow people to navigate out in the real world. The second area of work is providing training around disability equality and awareness to transport operators, both frontline and senior management in those organisations. And we have secured and are providing training to Irish Rail, who operate the Irish Railway. Where we're providing training to all of their staff currently, and we will do over the next 4 years. We also provide training to Transdev, who operate the Lewis, which is the tram in Dublin, and we also provide other elements of training to the other operators who work in Ireland, and we have some exciting plans to expand our training programme into the area of air travel in the coming months, working with some of the authorities in the Republic of Ireland. The third area that we focus on is embedding disability, equality and access into the third level curriculum, and we've done that by partnering with a number of universities, Dublin City University and Technological University Dublin, and we've also worked with universities in Galway, and we have a memorandum of understanding with the University College London. The fourth and area that we work on is becoming a leader in providing professional training to professionals who are working in the field, who are designing built environment projects on a daily basis, to equip them with thinking around accessibility, access. Many of those people may have qualified in their particular fields when those things weren't hugely topical. So we're bringing that to the fore in the centre. The fifth and final pillar relates to us wanting to develop a benchmark in Ireland or a standard for the built environment. So I'm sure, similar to other European countries and countries in the world, there are very strict standards for accessibility features within buildings, but that doesn't exist in Ireland when you go out into the built environment. We have a series of guidelines, which means that different local authorities and engineers interpret each of those guidelines slightly differently, so there's no consistency. So that makes it very difficult for people with disabilities to navigate effectively. And I'm now going to pass you across to my colleague Chantal, who's going to bring you through some other areas of work in the centre.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm going to do a little bit of a deeper dive on the Wayfinding Centre. So we've got this fantastic space that Kevin's been talking about. It's immersive, we learn by doing, but what's important is, and what's at the heart of everything is our access ambassadors. So our access ambassadors are people with lived experience of disabilities, all types of disabilities, who come from all of the different counties across Ireland, and they come into the space and work alongside the team in the Wayfinding Centre, but co-deliver. They undertake activities like user testing and contribute to research as well. So we've got 100 of these access ambassadors. Their time contribution is recognised with payment as well. So they're really bringing that lived experience, and it's valued in the conversations that they're having with local authorities or the National Transport Authority as an example. When we're providing that training to transport operators, again, those front-facing staff are hearing from our access ambassadors and learning about the barriers that these access ambassadors face in the local community and how their work can make a real difference to these people's experience and navigation as well. So the space, if we have our access ambassadors coming in, and we also have to make sure that the space is inclusive for everybody that's coming in and receiving training and delivering training as well. So we've gone to a great extent to make sure that we have visual guides and sensory maps. We've also got a pilot at the moment with Navilens codes around the centre. So making sure that when someone comes into the centre, they don't encounter any barriers as part of their interaction with the centre as well is really important. Something that isn't necessarily core to the pillars that Kevin talked about is consultations. So we have undertaken a number of consultations with the National Transport Authority in Ireland, and there is some additional ones planned with local authorities as well in the coming months. So it's really important that we have this immersive space that we can also test new prototypes. So there's an image on screen at the moment that shows some of these new prototypes that we're testing at bus stops. So we have an island bus stop inside the centre, and there is colour contrast. There is actually, it's not clear on the image, but a braille plaque on the side of the bus stop flag so that people understand when they're using or locating the bus stop exactly what bus stop number it is. So lots of testing, making sure all the stakeholders in the room and those decision makers are hearing from our access ambassadors is really important. Another really exciting opportunity that we've had because we have this immersive space has come about through a partnership with the Dublin Fire Brigade. So we've hosted 2 mass casualty incident training events, and it's also included staff from St Vincent's Hospital. So if you imagine you're a new recruit in the Dublin Fire Brigade and you get dropped off at a building, and inside that building there's alarms going off, there's a really intense environment, lots of people screaming, lots of people with makeup, with various injuries, but there's also a contingency of our access ambassadors in the plane with injuries, and those Dublin Fire Brigade new recruits under a highly stressful situation have to communicate with those people that have a disability and also help them mobilise out of that aircraft and to the triage. So there's lots of learning for those new recruits, and one of the wonderful things as well is that we were able to then implement some of that learning, particularly around guide dogs, into the Dublin Fire Brigade's curriculum. I'm just conscious of time, so I'm going to flick through, I just went one too far. So just on the impact so far in the Wayfinding Centre. On screen we have 8,000 visitors in the last 2 years, over 1,400 people trained, so they're professionals who are working in transport or the built environment. 700 people have received travel training and over 100 access ambassadors. And Kevin referenced the MOUs with our academic partners. So that's a huge amount of or milestones, but it also translates into representing people who now have the confidence to take more journeys and have the independence in the communities because of the ecosystem of transport and mobility stakeholders. So I want to finish up by just saying that the Wayfinding Centre shows what's possible when there is collaboration and innovation alongside lived experience. And this progress that we celebrate over the last couple of days is not a niche initiative, but a blueprint, hopefully, for inclusive cities everywhere. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, congratulations to all of you for these amazing initiatives and solutions. I do have questions, but I want to prioritize the questions from our audience. So please do raise your hand if you have any comment, any question to our panelists. If any colleague from the Zero can help me out to see if there is any question. Okay.
Good morning, my name is Gary Wagner, Vienna. There was a code mentioned in the presentation. Is this code being standardized? It looked like the QR code, but it's a bigger one. It's called microlens, or what is the name of this code? It was a visual displayed code.
I think it's NaviLens, but...
NaviLens.
Yeah, the code is NaviLens. So we've worked, well, Vision Island has worked with NaviLens over a number of years. And at the moment we're piloting, I don't know if you're familiar with NaviLens, but it's like a colourful QR code. and it helps with navigation.
Is it a proprietary one, or is it standardized code worldwide?
No, it's not standardized. So it's a Spanish company.
It's a Spanish code, okay.
But as far as I know, I think that they operate in many countries as well. Yeah. They have partnership with, for example, I've seen them not only in Spain, but also in Belgium, for example, where the train stations there, they have Navilens as well. Yeah.
They're also doing a lot of work in the States at the moment,
Yeah.
and across transport networks, and it's extensive in Spain as well. It's a great product.
Yeah. Okay, any other question?
Yes,
Two more.
No, I just wanted to say, sorry about the Navilens, I didn't hear all of that, but I know that in Ireland, some of the arts and cultural centres are starting to use it as a way for people to, navigate as soon as you come into a cultural space. And it's just starting to be rolled out, so I guess it's kind of come back to us in about a year, and we see how it's going down, but yeah. All right, thanks, it's all really interesting.
Yes, I had a question about the haptic one. Because you say you store the information to train the information, but how long is your route, for example, stored? Because that's one of the things I tend to see to be taken on a long day in navigational apps. And with privacy reasons, you don't always want everybody to know where you're going, because I really like the idea. But I was curious, how much did you take that in consideration?
Thanks for the question. Yeah, very good consideration. So we definitely put that into our minds back in the day when we first launched the app. So I'll just give you a quick timeline. When we first started, we did do exactly what the Discovery Channel documentary was saying. However, due to this feedback and also my personal reasons of not wanting to have privatized data, and obviously looking at what a lot of these map companies are doing. I mean, every map company does this already, right? Google Maps, Apple Maps, you're kind of providing this data, so it is already being done. But as a startup company, also one that's trying to make impact and trying to be a different kind of company, I did put that into consideration and take it out. So there is no more login on the app. There is no more data collection for the routes itself. Everything's done through anonymous information, and we don't collect anything anymore. We're just a tactile layer that we're placing on top of Mapbox, for example, and with other mapping companies to provide our patented IP of SDKs that are practically activating the actuators, like the vibrations on your phone, to provide the directions. So to answer your questions in a short way, we do not collect data, and we do not have logins. There is like zero element of that in our app actually now. So starting 2017, we started that.
Thank you for your honest answer in that, because I often hear a lot of stories, but you're really clear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. If I can use my moderator powers. I also have a quick question for Kevin. What is the margin of error of the haptic app? So, for example, when you are, it locates you, but then sometimes what we feel is like these mapping apps, sometimes they locate you some meters farther, some meters in a different way. So what is the margin that you have?
Yeah, so I will answer this in two parts because there is no simple answer. It depends on where you are, whether indoors, multiple floors down, underground, subway stations, etc. So of course, what I've experienced over the years is that it has gotten, of course, exponentially better for exterior navigation and interior navigation. The second answer is, if you come out of the subway station today and you have Google Maps, Apple Maps, and Haptic Nav side by side, you will get the best orientation information from Haptic Nav than any of the other tools, by far. It's about 80% more accurate in terms of orientation when you come out of the subway station or when you just take out the app to use it. Because Google Maps and Apple Maps are jumping around. Orientation is not the priority of these maps, of these map apps. Accuracy is not really that important to them. You know, billions of people use this app. So we juice a little bit more on the sensors of the phones and of other devices, for example, like LiDAR sensors for, you know, rideshare companies. And we focus a lot more on the accuracy of orientation. So it is better than the comparable free apps of Google Maps and Apple Maps today.
But it does also depend on the infrastructure, like whether there is 5G or no, or not?
That is 100% true. So the first answer was that it does depend on the conditions of where you are, and all that. That cannot be changed. You know, that's better based on satellite systems and limitations of human society. But like, it will only improve over time.
Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Yeah.
Another one in the
front.
Okay. Navigation is one topic. Risk minimization is a second issue. In how far does your applications try to put it together? I give you an example. I have two non-disabled persons in my neighborhood, and all of them nearly died, not outdoor or in a risky environment, but at home, one in the kitchen, one in the toilet, yeah? Completely funny stories, but they nearly died. So my question is, navigation is fine, but additional risk-related information would be also a kind of value-added service.
Yeah, I can jump in. I'm not sure if it necessarily directly answers your question, but in terms of our experience and how the wayfinding centre is being used, we're doing a lot of training sessions with people that have a disability on road safety. In particular, we are also doing demo days with innovative companies that have navigation products and testing them and providing feedback so that we can make sure they're as safe as possible before they're being used in the real world. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And then I do have a question for you too, Kevin and Chantal. Unless okay. How did you set up such a center? I mean, it's not like going and buying a new computer and a printer. I mean, you have a plane, a train, a bus, a double-decker bus. I mean, how all started? Where did you get the money to buy these things? Yeah. These little things.
Yeah. So it certainly wasn't an easy task, and a few people have grayed throughout the process, not me, of course, but very difficult. Vision Ireland is the national sight loss agency, and initially we wanted to develop the centre as an indoor space to provide orientation and mobility training to people who are vision impaired. However, when we approached government and the National Transport Authority, they liked the idea and the concept, but they asked us to develop it on a pan-disability basis, and that is something that we had to go away as an organisation and consider and talk to other stakeholders and parties, and we made that decision to move forward in 2019 with the project. We identified the site, and that in itself was a challenge to find 35,000 square foot that was centrally located that would be easily accessed. So we found a site in the north side of Dublin, which had been disused for over a decade. So we began to construct the centre. The National Transport Authority provided the capital funding, and all of the operators in Ireland donated the modules, the transport modules that you heard me speak about earlier, and AirCap, who are a major Irish aviation leasing company, gave us the plane. So it's a mix of state and philanthropic funding and goodwill that's led us to develop the centre.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have still some minutes. Is there any further question? Okay.
So I would love to ask the question to the panel because I really enjoyed seeing the presentations and, you know, the impact that everyone's making together. In terms of, obviously, Europe, with the European Accessibility Act, I know that this happened last year in June, and I thought it would be more of a topic of conversation and also kind of a joint force movement to kind of step together. Is that happening, in your opinion, in more European region today due to this?
Yeah, I'll jump in at that one first. The European Accessibility Act was hard fought to be brought into recognition, and it was, you know, brought into law last June. And speaking exclusively from an Irish perspective, and in, you know, my day-to-day work, I'm working closely with, you know, government departments and officials, and I think they are all grappling with, you know, its true implementation and what it means. But since its implementation, I think there are conversations that have begun to take place between, you know, the state, the private sector, and most importantly, people with disabilities and lived experience that weren't taking place before. And there are more, you know, co-design sessions being organised, and you see that through the way that the government are consulting. That's evident in the, you know, the development of the Wayfinding Centre, but some of the modes of transport, some of the infrastructure that's being discussed at the moment and possibly being introduced. So I think it's a journey, and it's not going to happen overnight, and I think there's room for more collaborative working.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Kevin. You really made my panel because the European Accessibility Act is very, very close to my heart. We at EDF, we were already working with the European Commission, the European Parliament, and the Council of the EU during the preparation of this legislation. And unfortunately, and one of the reasons why maybe we don't feel you know, that everyone is joining the conversation and so forth, was because the member states were very, how to put it, like, they were not ambitious enough in what elements and what elements they wanted to include in the scope of the legislation. So when it comes to this panel's topics on navigation, then if we would have had public spaces and buildings included in the Accessibility Act, this would have been a different story, for this particular sector at least. But unfortunately, the member states, the European member states, they didn't want at all the EU to tell them how to make public spaces, transport vehicles, and buildings accessible. And that, from our point of view, obviously, is a missed opportunity. We could have really pushed for more accessible, you know, real life experience, let's say. The Accessibility Act is really good, and as Kevin was saying, is driving lots of attention and in many sectors. But for example, we have the paradox of having the obligation of having an ATM which is accessible in a non-accessible bank office, because the ATMs are included, but the built environment of the services are not. So this very much depends on how far the countries want to go. So I'm glad to hear that in Ireland this is taking traction, but in other European countries, unfortunately, this is not the case. There was only, I believe, Malta, one country, Malta, that was happy to include the built environment into their national laws transposing the European Accessibility Act. But this is the situation we need to deal with. I think we do have still some minutes. We have to close. Okay, I thought it was like, okay. No, but I just want to conclude by thanking you all, by congratulating the awardees and for their contribution. Please give it a big of applause. Thank you very much. So let's all navigate towards the end, out of the room. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.